Let's dive into the latest chapter of One Piece, where we witness a pivotal clash between Kizaru and Luffy. But did you know there's more than meets the eye regarding Kizaru's unexpected transformation and the foreshadowing of this battle? Once known as the reticent and ruthless Navy Admiral, Kizaru has undergone a remarkable shift in the recent episodes, becoming surprisingly talkative and even showing respect towards Luffy. The motives and emotional changes Kizaru reveals during his fight with Luffy add intriguing layers to the story. And then there's the burning question: why is the Navy targeting Vegapunk? Kizaru's response hints at the possibility of his betrayal. In this video, we're going to delve into these mysteries. If this analysis brings you any new insights, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you have different theories, please share them in the comments below. Let's get started. First off, let's take a closer look at the portrayal of Kizaru in the latest episodes. He's mainly been in the spotlight during the Sabati Archipelago and the Summit War, right? And it's quite refreshing to see him centered in the narrative, especially with so much dialogue. In their reunion, Kizaru and Luffy inevitably clash, with Luffy countering in Gear 4 Snake Man. Interestingly, he didn't use Gear 5 this time, probably because it's a transformation that drains a lot of stamina, and he had already used it against Lucci. Perhaps Luffy was deliberately holding back his power since his goal wasn't to defeat Kizaru, but to escape. On the other hand, Kizaru openly acknowledges Luffy's strength, saying, "as expected of the man who defeated Kaido," and even converses with Luffy as an equal during their battle. Imagine that, Kizaru talking to Luffy? That would have been unthinkable given their power gap 2 years ago. Back then, Kizaru just beat him up one-sidedly, only saying, "You're going to die." During their fight, Kizaru asks Luffy, "Why are you protecting Vegapunk?" Given that Vegapunk is the mastermind behind the pacifistas and other weapons that have caused so much trouble, it's puzzling why Luffy would defend him. But here comes one of Luffy's spot-on retorts. He flips the question, asking Kizaru, "Why is the Navy trying to kill Vegapunk?" Luffy does have a knack for hitting the nail on the head sometimes. Kizaru, without answering, keeps his distance, murmuring cryptically, "I have a long history with Vegapunk. I don't want to kill him. That's why I wish you wouldn't interfere." Just like recent portrayals of Sentomaru, it seems Kizaru has a long-standing friendship with Vegapunk and Sentomaru. Even on a mission, it must be tough to act against a friend. Akaino might coldly carry out his mission regardless of who's involved, but Kizaru? That's a different story. Kizaru suddenly closed in on Luffy, kicking him towards the Vega Force 1. Blowing away Luffy in Gear 4? That's the power of an admiral. Luffy, sent flying, crashed into the Vega Force 1, splitting it in half. The only way out, and now they're in a real bind. After sending Luffy flying, Kizaru approached Franky, Lilith, and Bonnie. That's when we saw another flashback. Kizaru recalled being happy about Vegapunk's completion of the giant robot, the Vega Force 1. It's clear Kizaru has many memories with Vegapunk. Facing Bonnie, Kizaru remarked, "You've grown a lot, and aren't you resentful towards Vegapunk?" Seems like Kizaru has known Bonnie for a long time, huh? They probably met when Bonnie visited Egghead with Kuma. Bonnie did mention she had been to Egghead as a child. When Kizaru questioned her, Bonnie attacked, saying, "My target has changed." But without Haki, her attack was useless against Kizaru. Kizaru saying, not wanting to hurt an acquaintance outside of his mission, lightly kicked Bonnie away. Kizaru's words are loaded with meaning. Doesn't he seem more human than ever? His motto is unclear justice. We always thought he blindly followed others, but now he seems reluctant to cause unnecessary harm, almost devoid of killing intent. The fact that he's going easy on the pirate Bonnie suggests some instability in his demeanor and commitment to the mission. Then Franky launched an attack, but Kizaru finished and finally appeared before Stella. Even towards Stella, he spoke with a mix of resolve and hesitation, saying, "This mission is tough for me too. I want to finish it quickly." But then, a giant Luffy in Gear 5 suddenly grabbed Kizaru. Even Kizaru seemed surprised by that. And as the drums of Nika's liberation resonated, the eyes of the giant iron robot lit up, ending Chapter 1092. Kizaru usually overwhelms pirates as part of his Navy duties, but this mission, with Vegapunk involved, seemed to weigh on him. Does he really intend to kill? There's a hint of hesitation. Now, let's speculate on what Kizaru might do next. Kizaru's next moves. There are two main possibilities. He either continues fighting as a Navy target and kills Vegapunk, or he betrays the Navy to save his friend Vegapunk. Kizaru seems resolved, having taken down Sentomaru and come this far. Could he really betray the Navy now? And let's not forget, the five elders, the top of the world government, are at Egghead too. Considering this, let's delve deeper into both scenarios. First, let's look at the possibility of Kizaru continuing to fight as a Navy admiral. As an admiral, he leads many fleets, and the vice admirals have already started landing. It's hard to imagine him not fighting Luffy and the others now, right? Let's examine the meaningful lines Kizaru has delivered. It seems he's prepared to take down his close friends, Sentomaru and Vegapunk. Given it's a long-planned operation, he must be highly resolved. As Reimu said, Kizaru seems ready to take down his own, especially a longtime friend like Vegapunk. The most likely scenario is an intense battle with Vegapunk's scientific power, Luffy, and the giant robot. Now, let's explore the possibility of Kizaru betraying the Navy and siding with Vegapunk or Luffy. There are 4 reasons to consider this betrayal. 1. Kizaru's meaningful statements. 2. The interaction between Kuma and Akainu. 3. The past between Kizaru and Vegapunk. And 4. The activated giant robot. These latest developments are crucial indeed. As we just saw, Kizaru had a lot of lines in the latest episode. It felt like there were plenty of moments delving into his emotions. First, his statement, "Killing Vegapunk is tough for me too," suggests he's prepared to kill Vegapunk. But right before that, he also said, "I don't want to kill him." It seemed like he muttered this where Luffy couldn't hear. Moreover, he went easy on Bonnie, a pirate, just because she wasn't his target. Such behavior is unexpected from the Kizaru we've known. From this unexpected behavior and the true feelings he's shown, there's a chance Kizaru isn't fully committed to killing Vegapunk. Maybe those resolved-sounding lines weren't meant to mislead us. Could it be that Kizaru is still torn between his duty and personal feelings, even during the battle? It's just a theory, but it's not unthinkable, given how out of character it is for Kizaru to voice his true feelings. If he were truly resolved to kill Vegapunk, he wouldn't engage with Luffy and should head straight to where Vegapunk is, putting Sentomaru aside. With his observation haki, he should be able to locate Vegapunk and Luffy. His choice to fight Luffy and the hints of resistance and completing his mission make me wonder if we might see a moment where Kizaru decides to betray the Navy. Next, let's delve into the interaction between Kuma and Akainu in the Holy Land Marijois depicted in Chapter 1092. Could this development in Marijois hint at Kizaru's betrayal? Many thought Kuma was programmed to automatically return to Marijois, but this latest portrayal turns that idea on its head, right? Kuma's return was unexpected for the government side too, and it caused quite a ruckus in Marijois. As Akainu mentioned, Kuma has lost his ego, and he's been a slave for the Celestial Dragons. This suggests that his rampage in Marijois is not of his own volition, but a programmed action. Indeed, it's hard to believe the current Kuma is acting on his own, so a programmed motive seems more plausible. And there's only one person capable of such programming: Vegapunk. This implies Vegapunk and Kuma might be secretly plotting something away from the government's eyes. Maybe they've set a program to activate under certain conditions, and now that program has triggered, causing Kuma to run amok in Marijois. It's still a theory, but given Kuma's condition and the loss of his ego, it seems a reasonable assumption. So what could these specific conditions be? How about a program that says, fight alongside Nika when he reappears in this world? Even Vegapunk's research on the energy of a giant kingdom in the Void Century is not far-fetched. Vegapunk despises the Celestial Dragon, so it wouldn't be surprising if he prepared to overthrow the world government when Nika returns. The timing of Nika's appearance and Kuma's action aligns, making this theory quite convincing. And if Vegapunk revealed the government's dark secrets to Kizaru and asked for help from his close friend, Kizaru's response remains unpredictable. Interestingly, all members on Luffy's side, including Sentomaru, Vegapunk, and Kuma, are from the Science Division. And among them, Kizaru is the only one who hasn't switched sides yet. The possibility of Kizaru's betrayal is certainly coming into view. Even Akainu seemed bewildered by the recent chaos. We might see a different shift in the power dynamics. Recently, we've seen a lot of backstory about Kizaru, Vegapunk, and Sentomaru. While we've witnessed the meeting between Sentomaru and Vegapunk, the story of how Vegapunk and Kizaru met remains untold. How did these two cross paths and become friends, I wonder? In the previous Hachinusu arc, we explored Kuzan's meeting with his mentor Garp and the time they spent together. So it's likely that the upcoming story will focus on Kizaru, delving into his past and his encounter with Vegapunk. And as a parallel to Kuzan and Garp, it's possible that Kizaru's history with Vegapunk will heavily influence his decision to let Vegapunk escape. Thinking about it now, Kizaru's current situation does resemble Kuzan's reluctance to battle a longtime acquaintance. Both situations are closely tied to the monkey family, making them eerily similar. Moreover, their positions are contrasting. A former admiral turned pirate battling his naval mentor, while a current admiral might fight a former Navy colleague who's now siding with pirates. This seems like a significant plot setup, doesn't it? If we follow this logic, Kuzan chose not to return to the Navy and defeated Garp, while Kizaru, in a contrasting scenario, might side with Vegapunk. That legendary Iron Giant, said to be impossible to replicate in terms of power and energy, is making waves. It's been hinted that this giant was once possessed by a massive kingdom and attacked Joie about 200 years ago. This suggests it's definitely an entity hostile to the world government, and it's quite fishy that the government ordered its complete disposal. Considering the relationship between Kizaru and Vegapunk, it's plausible that Kizaru knows a fair bit about that robot. After all, Vegapunk modeled his Vega Force 1 after it, and Kizaru seems to be in the know about Vega Force 1 as well. Moreover, Kizaru appears to have some knowledge of Nika, considered a mortal enemy of the government. He might have known about Nika from the wanted posters, but his line, "So this is," hints at a deeper understanding. Let's imagine Kizaru witnessing that robot springing into action. Seeing a force capable of opposing the government with his own eyes might prompt him to aid Vegapunk in fulfilling his dream of distributing energy freely to the world. Under this guise, betraying the Navy and joining forces with Luffy's crew to confront the Five Elders at Egghead could be a possible turn of events. If Kizaru stays with that government, there'd be no need for the Five Elders to fight. Their presence in that location would also lose narrative significance. Since Saint Saturn was the first among the Five Elders to be named, it's likely his powers will be revealed first. So, a showdown between a traitorous Kizaru and Saint Saturn could be quite epic. While Kizaru holds off the Navy, Vegapunk and the others could make their escape. Even if Kizaru doesn't outright betray the Navy, aiding Vegapunk's escape seems plausible. After all, we've seen several instances in the past where Luffy gains allies from formidable former foes. Hey, that's all for today. This channel, of course, posts summaries, explanations, and ranking videos related to One Piece. If you like One Piece, we'd be happy if you could support us by subscribing to our channel and commenting. And we thank you for watching to the end. And as always, see you in the next video.